Imagine waking up tomorrow. Every major news network is leading with the same headline. The Strait of Hormuz has been closed indefinitely. At first, it doesn't sound like a world-changing event. After all, it's just a narrow strip of water. At its narrowest navigable point, it's only a few dozen kilometers across. But this isn't just any waterway. It is one of the most important energy corridors on Earth. And if it stopped working, the effects could reach almost every country. Here's why. The Strait of Hormuz lies between Iran and Oman, connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea. Every day, giant oil tankers leave countries including Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and Iran, carrying energy to customers around the world. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, around 20 million barrels of crude oil and petroleum products pass through the strait every day in 2024. That's roughly 20% of the world's petroleum liquids consumption. It also carried about 1/5 of global liquefied natural gas trade, most of it exported from Qatar. Very few places on Earth are this important to global trade. The hypothetical begins. Now, let's imagine something that has never happened. Not a temporary disruption, not a few days, not even a few weeks. Imagine the Strait of Hormuz closes, permanently. What happens next? The first reaction wouldn't happen on the water. It would happen on computer screens. Energy markets would immediately begin reacting to the possibility that a large share of global oil exports could no longer reach international buyers. Oil prices would likely rise sharply. Exactly how much? Nobody knows. That would depend on how long the disruption lasted and how successfully countries found alternatives. But history shows that even the threat of disruption in this region has pushed prices higher. Week 1. Within days, shipping companies would begin looking for other routes. The problem is, there aren't many. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Iran have pipelines that bypass part of the strait. But according to the EIA, these pipelines can replace only a portion of the oil that normally moves through Hormuz. They simply aren't large enough to carry everything. Governments could also release oil from strategic reserves. Those reserves are designed to reduce short-term supply shocks. But they are temporary tools, not permanent solutions. That month 1, if the closure continued for weeks or months, the effects would spread beyond fuel. Ships transport food, factories depend on energy, airlines need jet fuel. As transportation becomes more expensive, businesses could pass some of those higher costs on to consumers. That means many everyday products, from groceries to electronics, could become more expensive. Countries that import large amounts of energy would likely feel the greatest pressure. Others with more diverse energy supplies or larger reserves might adapt more easily. At the same time, governments around the world would almost certainly accelerate investments in alternative energy, new pipelines, and additional shipping infrastructure. History shows that major supply disruptions often drive innovation. The Strait of Hormuz isn't important because it's large. It's important because so much of the world's energy passes through one narrow gateway. For decades, global trade has relied on that gateway remaining open. If it ever closed permanently, the world wouldn't stop, but it would change. Energy markets, supply chains, and perhaps even the future of global energy itself. So here's the question. Could the world successfully adapt to a permanent closure of the Strait of Hormuz? Or would this become one of the biggest economic turning points in modern history? Let me know what you think in the comments.